Hello and welcome to today's lesson. I'm your hard-working but indefatigable teacher, Mr. Burton. You will need to watch this video and take notes as you go. You may need to watch certain parts of the video a few times to ensure complete understanding. This is your homework and I will check your notes tomorrow before we get started. I hope you learned something.
Okay, hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we start in on the marketing mix. Product, price, place and promotion, the 4 P's of the marketing mix. And we begin with product. This is our first installment of product, and there's a special emphasis today in this video on the product life cycle. So the 4 P's of the marketing mix: product, price, place, promotion.
A new look at the 4 P's of marketing.
Nothing explains a complicated business algorithm like a cute mnemonic device. Hence the 4 P's of marketing. This is one of the first things they drill into your head in business school. Actually, in any type of formal marketing instruction. It's everywhere. Everyone knows it, and you need to know it too. So here it is, let's go. 4 P's. Product, place, price, promotion. Got that? Let's say it again. Say it out loud, it helps. Product, price, place, promotion. One more time, with feeling. Product, place, price, promotion. Never forget these 4 words. Each of the 4 P's represents one of the really important elements of marketing that you need to consider when developing your campaigns. Alone, none of them will do you much good. The 4 P's need to work together. They're like the 4 wheels of a car or the 4 legs of a table. If you've got trouble with, or heaven forbid are missing one entirely, you'll have trouble getting anywhere. So it's easy, right? Find a good product, slap a good price on it, sell it somewhere people go, and throw together some promotion. Yes? No. Because first you have to figure out how to define these things as good. It's all about fit. Each of the 4 P's has to be geared towards your specific target market and work with each of the other 4 P's to do so.
The first P is product. This is what you're selling, be it a pot scrubber, ebook, or car detailing service. But it's not just the item or service itself that's included in the product P. It's also the different varieties of your product, the quality of it, how it's designed, packaged, and branded. Anything that adds value to your product, any reason a customer might want to purchase it is part of the product. Obviously, it's pretty important.
The next P is price. You may be tempted to believe that the price of your product or service is merely the amount you charge customers when they purchase it. Dispel that notion immediately. The price includes the retail price, any discounts or special offers, bonuses, payment plans, and credit terms. In short, anything even remotely related to money. It makes sense when you think about it. A discount lowers the price of an item. A bonus offer also lowers the price. Credit terms and payment plans make it easier for your customers to pay the price. All of these must be considered.
The third P is promotion. This is what most people think of when they think of marketing. Promotion includes advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, and public relations. Sponsoring your nephew's Little League game? That's promotion. Making a sales call? That's promotion. Handing out brochures? That's promotion. Answering client emails? Still promotion.
The final P is place. Place is also known as distribution. How do your clients find your product and get what they've paid for once they've paid for it? Is it delivered to their door? Is it right there in a retail location? Do they download it? Place also includes the logistics of each of these things. If your product is sold in retail stores, how did it get there? How many of them are there? How soon do you need to get more there? Everything that you need to consider about how to get your product to your customer or to a place where your customer can find it is part of place.
Now remember, it's not enough to choose a good product, price, place, and promotion because we have to know how to define good. Let's use an example to illustrate. Let's say that your 7-year-old wants to set up a lemonade stand to make some extra money. What will she have to figure out? She'll need to decide where to place her stand, how to make the lemonade, what she should charge for it, and how to let people know what she's doing. If she came up to you and asked you how to do all of this, you'd have to tell her that it depends. Where she sets up her stand depends on who she wants to sell the lemonade to, grown-ups or kids. Should the stand be in the park or at the end of her driveway? Same with the recipe. How much sugar should she add? More for kids than for grown-ups, probably. If she makes grown-up lemonade, she might be able to charge more for it because adults have more money to spend. On the other hand, if she sets up her stand in the park and sells sweet lemonade to kids, more of them will see it and she won't have to tell people about it.
You have to know who your target market is before you make any of the 4P decisions, or you'll be in the same mess as a 7-year-old, not knowing which course of action is best for any of the Ps. If the 7-year-old knew from the get-go that she wanted to sell lemonade to other kids, she would have been able to decide right away that she should have a sweet lemonade product that she should sell in the park, place, promotion, for 10 cents a cup. Price. If she wanted to sell to grown-ups, she would have her stand at the end of her driveway where lots of adults walk to and from work. Place. The lemonade would be tart. Product. Her mom would probably tell some of her neighbors about it. Promotion. And she could charge 25 cents a cup. Price. At the end of the day, it comes down to figuring out your target market and what works for them. Your offering will be perfect for some people, and those are the ones you need to reach.
Want more lessons and tips like this one? Subscribe to the firepolemarketing.com blog.
Okay, so the 4 Ps, a marketing mix, refers to the set of actions or tactics that the company uses to promote its brand or product in the market. And it's centered around those 4 Ps: product, price, place, promotion, all integrated, all working together, and all focused around a particular target market segment. So we begin with product. Product, the definition, is the end result of the production process. It's what's sold in the market to satisfy a customer need. And it's any good or service that serves to satisfy the needs or wants of customers. Some products you can touch, they're tangible, a physical product such as a magazine. Others you can't touch, they're intangible, a service such as a haircut. The product life cycle. Now the product life cycle shows the different stages that a product goes through, or is likely to go through, from its initial design and launch, its time on the market, and eventual decline in sales and withdrawal from the market. Now there are generally 6 stages in a product's life cycle: research and development, or R&D, the launch, that's getting the product into the market, growth as sales start to expand, maturity when sales are at the peak, saturation, and an eventual decline. Each stage of the product life cycle is likely to have a different marketing mix. We'll explain this in a second. Right, so you can see the product life cycle there. You've got sales on the y-axis and you've got time on the x-axis. Sales grow and grow and grow. So introduction, the product's on the market, sales grow slowly, people are not aware of the product. Here informative advertising could be used. Usually there's no profit at this stage because sales are not high enough. Growth stage, this is when sales are growing at their most rapid rate. Maturity, sales are at their peak and any increase in sales now only occurs at a slow rate. And then the eventual decline where sales begin to fall. The product loses its appeal. Other competitors have entered the market space and are competing away your sales. Right, so a definition: the product life cycle, the pattern of sales recorded by a product from launch to withdrawal from the market. So again, sales on the y-axis, time, typically in years on the x-axis. We've got these distinct phases: introduction, the growth, the maturity in sales, and the eventual decline. The decline can be prevented with different extension strategies, which are marketing plans that extend the maturity stage of the product before a brand new product is needed. And this could be developing new markets to increase sales that way, relaunching the product, lowering the prices. All of these increase the sales, increase advertising, new packaging, etc., etc., are extension strategies that can be used by firms to protect their products from the decline stage. Let's have a look at the individual components of the marketing mix and the product lifecycle. Because the product lifecycle can assist with the planning of marketing decisions. So we have the introduction, the growth, the maturity, and the decline phase. So in terms of pricing, in the introduction stage, the price might be high compared to competitors. There's something we call price skimming, or prices could be low penetration. And we're going to go into these pricing strategies later when we're focusing on price. In the growth phase, if successful, an initial penetration pricing strategy could now lead to the business starting to raise its prices. The product is getting known in the marketplace. In the maturity, competitors are likely entering the market at this stage. Sales are high. The product's been on the market for a wee while. Competitors have had a chance to react and bring in their own products to compete. So at this stage, the maturity stage, prices must be at competitive levels in the market. And the decline, perhaps prices are lowered to sell off excess stock, the stock that's not being sold anymore. All different pricing strategies. Right, the product life cycle and promotion. In the introduction stage, there is likely to be high levels of informative advertising, making consumers aware of the product's arrival on the market, and that makes sense because there's very new onto the market, and there's not a lot of consumers that have purchased the product, and those few consumers are not going to be able to spread the word. Promotion. At this stage, consumers need to be convinced to make repeat purchases. Brand identification is going to help establish customer loyalty to the product. In the maturity phase, promotion will revolve around brand imaging continuing. Growing need to stress the positive differences with competitors' product. Because remember, at the maturity phase, this is when competitors are going to be in the market competing away the sales of that particular product. In the decline, advertising is probably likely to be quite limited and possibly only to inform consumers of lower prices. And place, talking about distribution outlets here. In the introduction phase, restricted outlets, possibly high-class outlets if a skimming strategy is being adopted. Again, we'll go into skimming strategies a little bit later. Place, the distribution outlets could, there will be a growing number of outlets in areas indicated by strength of consumer demand. So, the product could be being sold in more places, more retail shops perhaps, driven by the demand from customers. In the maturity phase, this is going to see the product have the highest geographical range of outlets possible. The product is in the most number of outlets, retail outlets. And in the decline phase, the business will be looking to get rid of unprofitable outlets for the product. Let's have a little bit of a closer look at the product life cycle and the marketing mix. Product, price, place, promotion. So the phase of the product life cycle: price, promotion, place, and product. In the introduction phase, the price may be high compared to competitors. You've got a new product on the market, you may be able to charge a higher price, or it could be a low price strategy. Low prices to get the product known, get the product bought, get customers buying it, get customers talking about it. Promotion: high levels of informative advertising to make consumers aware of the product's arrival. Place: there'll be a few outlets and the product's all about a new model being launched. In the growth phase, if successful, initial penetration pricing strategy could now lead to the firm being able to increase prices. Promotion: consumers need to be convinced to make repeat purchases. Brand identification is going to help with customer loyalty. Place: there's going to be growing number of retail outlets and other distribution centres, and this is going to be indicated by the strength of consumer demand. Product: the business will be planning product improvements, further developments to maintain customer appeal. In the maturity phase, now competitors are likely to be entering the market, and there's going to be a definite need to be able to keep prices at competitive levels. Promotion: brand imaging is likely to continue. There's a growing need to stress the positive difference between this product and all the competitors' products which are coming onto the market. Place: maturity: sales are the highest, so there's going to be the greatest number of outlets possible, and all the time during this phase the business will be developing new types of outlets. Product: perhaps new models, colours, accessories, etc. become part of an extension strategy to keep those sales from declining. But in the decline phase, it's likely the business is going to be lowering prices to sell off stock, or if the product has a following, perhaps prices could even rise. Now, advertising is likely to be limited. Firms are cashing in now, so they're reducing the expenditure on this product. Perhaps advertising is just used to inform customers, potential customers, of lower prices. Now, in place, as sales begin to decline, it makes sense in terms of a firm's profitability to get rid of those outlets which are not that profitable anymore. And product: the firm is going to be preparing to replace this product with other products, and this product is slowly going to be withdrawn from markets. Now, extension strategies. A definition of an extension strategy is a marketing plan that extends the maturity stage of the product before a brand new one is needed to be bought out by the firm. And examples of extension strategies include adding features to the product, repackaging a product, discounting, rebranding, and selling into new markets, market development. So extension strategies reduce the decline of sales in that final stage. Now, evaluating extension strategies. A possible strategy: adding features to the original product. So an example: adding a camera and bigger screen to an old tablet computer design. What are the benefits? Developed and marketed more quickly, lower cost, especially when compared to bringing out a completely new product. Limitations: the basic original product is still aging, so at maturity or decline, consumers are perhaps not as willing to buy into a slightly revised product. Another strategy is repackaging. So an example would be a breakfast cereal box changing its design. Benefits: it's pretty inexpensive and reasonably fast to get out there into the market. Limitations: consumers could quickly realize the product is the same and feel like they're being misled about it. What about discounting the price? So reducing the price of an older model of smartphone before a new product is released, dropping the price of the iPhone 8 before the iPhone 9 comes out. Benefits: lower income consumers can afford the product now, so product promotion might actually target different market segments in this phase. Limitations: there's an impact on long-term image of the brand and the company. It may be better to replace the product earlier to avoid discounting. Apple does not want its products to be perceived as being cheap. What about rebranding? An example here would be changing the name, packaging, promotion of a chocolate bar so it can be sold to different market segments. The benefits: new market segments can be opened up and the product can be presented as being substantially new, a new type of product. Limitations: it's expensive, rebranding is expensive, and the strategy is really worthwhile. The product has a perception of being old-fashioned and is shortly to be replaced anyway. Selling it to new markets: so for example, perhaps we can find an export market for the product, we can sell that product overseas. An example of that could be selling a model of car in a low income country that has few manufacturers and a limited choice of products. Market development can increase sales, especially if the product is not being perceived as being too old or mature in these markets. But on the other hand, product and promotion may need to be redesigned to meet local laws and cultural requirements. And just quickly, there's strong link between the relationship between these different phases of the product life cycle and the cash and profit that flows across each. So when the product is just being developed, obviously sales are zero. It's not until the product is introduced into the market that we can get sales. So sales is the typical product life cycle that we all know and love. But if we look at cash in terms of the product life cycle, we have a negative cash flow resulting from that product in the development stage. We're paying for research, we're paying the salaries of the marketers, the designers, the scientists to develop the product. Where sales are low in the introduction stage, it's unlikely that we are generating a positive cash flow at this stage. Not until we get into the growth phase of the product life cycle does this product start to generate a little bit of cash for the business. In the maturity phase, cash flow turns positive quite quickly. If the product is successful, sales soar and start to generate quite a bit of profit for the business. And even when the product is declining, sales are still high. Even though they're declining, there'd be quite a lot of cash being generated by the business, especially because the business starts to wind back the expenses, the marketing, the promotion associated with the product. So cash flow follows from sales. It's always lower. There's a development stage that we've introduced here in the product life cycle, which is negative cash flow. Cash flow remains negative in the introduction stage, and it's only when we get to the growth stage that we start to get a positive cash flow from this product, and it peaks in the maturity stage. In terms of investment, capital spending, which aims to return a profit, likely to be heaviest towards the end of a product's life cycle. Newer replacement products will be needed to take over when the existing product ceases to sell in sufficient numbers and profits begin to fall. The time period required to research and develop new products will determine the timing of the new investment. For example, pharmaceutical drugs can take many years to develop. The product life cycle and profitability of products are going to vary quite a lot during the life cycle. Sales and therefore profitability are low until the growth phase is achieved. High profit margins are most likely during the growth and maturity phase, but discounting in the maturity and decline phases may reduce profit margins. Cash flow. Cash flow is negative during the development of the product, as we've just talked about. Costs are high here, and nothing has yet been produced or sold. At the introduction, development costs are replaced with high promotional costs, another drag on cash flow, and these can continue into the growth phase. As sales increase, cash flow improves, and the product will generate the highest positive net cash flows where sales are highest, the growth and maturity phases of the product life cycle.